Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time checking out my channel. This is Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my episode review for Season 2, Episode 1 of Timeless, The War to End All Wars. Now, if Timeless is something you're interested in, or something you want to know my thoughts on, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you won't be able to miss any more of my future reviews or videos on Timeless moving forward. Now, let's begin. So we open on this episode in the middle of a giant battlefield that took place during World War One, and there's just planes flying all over the place, dead bodies all over the place, and you see this one soldier come up from the battlefield, and you see the captain's asking him for help, and because he's badly wounded, and this guy goes over to, I think it was a dead soldier, and pulls something out from his pocket, and it's a cell phone. And I thought that was such a great way to start the season off with this big battlefield kind of entrance. Like, you got this big battle going on, dead people all over the place. It just draws you in right away. I feel like that's one thing the season 1 premiere didn't do very well with, because there wasn't a lot going on. But right off the bat, this season premiere starts off with action, stuff going all crazy all over the place, and I think that's such a great thing. And even for people that just start this season with this episode, when you see a soldier walk up and take a phone out of someone's pocket from World War One, that probably draw people in even more, because they're probably wondering, why does this guy from World War One have a cell phone? That doesn't make any sense. And I'll just draw people more in, want to know what's going on, want to know what this story is about as they continue watching the episode and it goes on. So I think it was just strong opening scene. I think it was great, but let me know what you think of the opening scene in the comment section down below. So then we go back to present time, and you got Rufus and Wyatt, and they're busy preparing the time machine to jump to the point in time so they can bring back Lucy's sister like they had planned. And as they're in the middle of doing this, they're trying to get in contact with Lucy, who hasn't arrived yet. And in the midst of all this craziness, a bomb goes off, and Mason Industries is destroyed. Everybody's okay for the most part. But the time machine is also just badly damaged in the ensuring chaos of the explosion. So like I said, I really like these opening scenes because it just draws you in so much. Even though this scene doesn't have action in it, it's still crazy all over the place. You don't know what's going on unless you've seen this last season. You don't, like, it's just so craziness, and I really like that for what it did, like start setting up this episode and the season to come. Then we get caught back up with Lucy, who has gone with her mom to rendezvous with Emma during the World War One battle that we had just seen earlier in the episode, and they had gone there to rendezvous with Emma, and they're there pretty much to await the arrival of someone that is a Rittenhouse member, and that is crucial to be brought back to the present time and complete the Rittenhouse mission pretty much. We get caught back up with Wyatt and Rufus, who have moved to a secure military base hideout with Agent Christopher and Mason and Jaya, and they, during this time, have fixed up the time machine and pretty much fixed everything up, and everything's back up and running, and they end up finding where the mothership is, which leads them to find out where Lucy is and where her mother and Emma are. So they decide to jump back in time and bring Lucy home. Agent Christopher says she wants to come with them, kind of as extra backup, and I really like how they had that scene. I wish we had seen Agent Christopher go with them, but I understand why she stayed behind, because you need the third seat available so we could have Lucy come back with them. I still wish we could have seen her go with them, even if this episode she ended up dying and then Lucy comes back with them. I don't know, I feel like that would have been a cool thing to see happen, but I'm glad with what we got anyway. It was still cool. I like that we had Agent Christopher stepping up and wanting to help out and support the team as much as she can right now. I think that was a really needed scene, and I really liked how it played out. Meanwhile, back in the World War One era, we got Lucy, her mom, and Emma waiting for the arrival of the soldier, and he arrives badly injured with the aid of one of his fellow soldiers, and they come in, and Emma, I guess, had some kind of medical training. I guess sometime during her time in the past, she probably learned some kind of medical training. I wish they had expanded on that a little bit more. Maybe we'll get some more explanation to that later. But she comes in, has them tries to patch the guy up, and has trouble with it. Meanwhile, Lucy is trying to contend to his comrade, who is a fellow soldier. And this is something I really like what they did, because the whole time Emma and Lucy's mom are struggling to decide whether Lucy is loyal to them or is not loyal to them, and still kind of wanting to work for the time travel team. So I like that, and they have her pass a test where they tell her to kill the comrade that brought the wounded soldier there, and she won't do it, and she's struggling with this because she has morality, she has a heart, and then you got Emma who steps up after she can't do it and kills him. And I like how they're making Emma the pure big bad of this season, and she's worse than Garcia Flynn. You can even see it in her eyes. She's got this cold, take no prisoner kind of look. Garcia was bad, but at least he had a heart. He cared about people, even though he was doing crazy malicious things. He still cared about people, whereas Emma, you can see, is totally crazy pretty much, and I like that. And I feel like eventually it's gonna end up where her and Lucy's mom are gonna end up kind of on split sides, and then maybe Caroline ends up joining Lucy. I don't know, that just might be me thinking that, but I really like how they had that scene play out and showed kind of how Emma is a more evil person than Garcia Flynn was last season. Realizing they need assistance, Lucy and Caroline head into town to find Marie Curie, who is responsible for creating the X-ray machine, and they decide to get her and her daughter, and they bring her back to treat the soldier, because I guess there's shrapnel pieces in him that they need the X-ray machine to see. That way they can properly heal him. While they're in town, Lucy runs into Wyatt and Rufus, and she decides to give them some grenades she had stolen to blow up the mothership. That way her mom and Emma can't do more harm to the timeline, and she does this knowing that it'll sacrifice her own life and she'll be stuck there too, but she's okay with it as long as she's able to stop them from continuing on with their crazy plans. Also, during this time, Rufus and Wyatt run into some issues with soldiers at camp, and they get into a scuffle with a group of soldiers, and and one of the soldiers they end up killing is the one that had taken the cell phone earlier, and they pocket it and take it because they want to find out what it is, and they realize this guy has something to do with Rittenhouse. Not much else happens in the scene. You get some other scenes of Lucy and the daughter of Marie Curie, and, just kind of asking if she wished she had taken a different path from her mother. Kind of, character building off Lucy and her mom's relationship. I don't know, I thought that was good, but I also feel like that was kind of filler kind of scenes there. I don't think we need it. It's nothing to it exciting or important, but I think it was decent and good for what we got. So Emma is able to patch up this Rittenhouse member, and they head back to the mothership, where they end up in a standoff between Marie and her daughter, who had gone to investigate the frequency issue with the X-ray machine, and it's found out that the frequency issue was with the mothership, and it was causing issues with the X-ray machine. However, the standoff is quickly resolved after Wyatt and Rufus show up, as they had planned to blow up the mothership, and they end up with a standoff. However, it's quickly resolved after Wyatt threatens to kill the Rittenhouse member, and Emma hands over Lucy to them, and everybody pretty much goes home happy at that point. Once the team is back home, they go over the phone and kind of decipher all its contents, and it's revealed that everything that's on the phone is pretty much a manifesto for Rittenhouse, all their plans pretty much, and it's revealed that they set up sleeper agents in different time periods to eventually activate them at a certain time so they can complete Rittenhouse members, all the Rittenhouse plans and all that. And I really like it because then we get a glimpse shot of a couple of these sleeper agents. And in that, also at that point, we also find out that the guy that Caroline and Emma went back to save is Nicholas Keynes. He's the one who wrote the manifesto, and the even shocker point in the story is when it's revealed that he is also Caroline's grandfather, which is great. I loved how they had that twist. I did not see that coming, and I love it. I think it's so exciting. I can't wait to see what they do with his character moving forward. Realizing they need all the help they can get, Agent Christopher decides to go down to the prison at the bottom of the bunker and goes to an imprisoned Garcia Flynn and tells him that they need his help. However, he tells her that he will only talk to Lucy, and it ends there, and I really like that cliffhanger. I hope they do something where maybe he is now helping them as kind of like a thing to do to maybe better himself and maybe eventually get a smaller sentence. I don't know, but I wonder what they're gonna do with his character. I can't wait to see what they do with him moving forward. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the show, so I really like how they ended it off with that cliffhanger there. Lastly, I just want to quickly talk about Mason and Jaya. They're not as important as the rest of the characters, but I think they are slowly becoming more important and bigger, more important characters. First, I want to talk about Mason, and I love what they did with his character because, as we know, he came from wealth and had everything given to him. He was an engineer, but since he was wealthy, he usually had other people working for him. I love how they blew up his company in the beginning of this episode, and now he's pretty much got nothing. He's just like everybody else, and he's just kind of struggling to find his place now, struggling to become and kind of relearn his engineering skills and become the man he used to be. And I love that how they're humanizing him in a way, making him feel like no longer this rich person and more like the every person. And I like that because I really love it when I do something like that. As for Jaya, I love how they are continuing on this season of her having side effects from using the time machine last season. They could have easily just skipped over that and said like, oh, she's doing better and it's not happening anymore. But I'm glad that they're keeping that going and showing that it's still having an effect on her. And that's just great story writing right there. When they keep old side effects that had happened in the previous season continue to happen now, that's great story writing. Bad story writing would have been if they had just said, oh, she's doing better, it's over now. I think what they did with her and his character in this first episode alone of the second season are already setting them up to be more important and better characters in the later episodes of this season, especially even more so Agent Christopher. The three of them aren't as important as Garcia, Flynn, and the other three, but I think this episode has already established them to become more important this season and having bigger roles later on in the season. So I can't wait to see what they do with all three of them, even all the main characters too as well. I can't wait to see what goes on with them and what storylines we'll see and what timelines we'll see in this season moving forward. Yeah, guys, that's my review of Timeless Season 2, Episode 1, The War to End All Wars. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up and share this video. And hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you won't be able to miss any future reviews on Timeless moving forward. This has been Vision with Blind Entertainment, and I will see you next time.